Okay, friends, yep, Doc South here, and boy, I'm going to go back a ways now. I think something like 51 years to, let's say it would have been February 20th. Yeah, I think February 20th. That would have been a Sunday, if I recall right. Pretty darn sure it was. Well, I was married to my first wife, Molly, and she was, well, quite pregnant. And that evening, I believe it was the 19th, or maybe the wee hours of the morning on the 20th, she let it be known that, well, it was time to head on in. Because, she was with child for sure. And it, oh my gosh. I called the rescue squad. I figured probably a good idea. I think it was snowing a bit, if I recall right. Yes, it was snowing over in New Jersey, Chester, New Jersey. And the rescue squad, oddly enough, was in the squad hall, probably playing cards into the night. So they popped right on over. And they got Molly into the ambulance. I drove I drove the vehicle we had and followed them as best I could. The roads were kind of slippery. The ambulance had pretty good tires, and well, they got Molly and soon to be our child into Morristown Hospital, Morristown Memorial. Wasn't as big as it is now. It seemed big to us back in the 70s, and it's way bigger now. But they checked Molly into the hospital, and indeed, yeah, any second now was how they put it. And I guess I eventually got there. I was probably about a half hour behind the ambulance. Again, the roads were hairy, but again, that doesn't usually stop an ambulance driver. And I went up to maternity, said, introduced myself, and the nurse said, well, we have a waiting room for fathers. Why don't you go in there? It was by then, it was probably about 2 a.m, something like that. Maybe even later into the day. And it would have been, I think, it was Saturday morning when we made the call. It was probably Sunday, excuse me, when things started to happen. Again, the wee hours of the morning. Molly was definitely going to, the baby was coming, and that was that. I don't think we knew I don't think we knew if we had a boy or a girl. I don't think. Back then, I'm not so sure they could tell you that easily. I don't think so. Not like now, anyway. And generally, it was customary for dads to sit in the waiting room. I will say this, and I got to say it's perhaps one of the greatest regrets of my life, was that I was in the waiting room, pretty much sitting there by myself. I think they may have no, they didn't even have a TV. It was just a waiting room and a few magazines. And it was kind of high up on the hospital, maybe the 5th floor, something like that. And I could look out at the sun, the snow coming down with the sun coming up. And I remember there was somewhere during my time in the waiting room where I think a nurse came in and said, hey, would you like to go see your child be born? She says, we aren't that busy. You can come in if you want. I said, gee, I don't know. It was funny. I hold that as one of my great goof ups, because I should have said, yeah. If nothing else, I should have, but I didn't. I would advise people, if you've got a baby coming, get in there. I know now they have all these classes and stuff, and they didn't have that kind of thing there then. And I figured, I'll tell you the truth, I figured I'd start bawling or faint or drop dead. And I think I told the nurse, gee, I don't know if I should go in there or not. She says, well, says you helped make the baby. Why don't you come on in? So she says, well, okay. But she said, if you change your mind, we're just down the hall. And, if don't worry. I mean, if you faint or something, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened. And, yeah, we'll just give you some sniffing, we'll give you a sniff of, ammonia Capulet, and you'll be up and again watching. And yeah, it's kind of fun seeing a baby get born. So, and again, like I said, a big mistake. But I don't know. I must have been just kind of standing there looking out the window at the sun coming up. The window I was in, I had a view of the eastern sky, and just as the sun started to peek over the horizon, nurse comes in, taps me on the shoulder, says, "Come on," she says, "you got to go see your baby girl. She's born now, and come on." In you go. And I said, well, okay. Everything turned out okay. She says, yeah. She says, still wish you could have come. You would have really liked being there. It's a beautiful thing. Well, I said, I don't know. I made a few dumb excuses, and of course fell on deaf ears for the nurse. But lo and behold, there was Sonny. I believe Molly was all excited and tickled, and Sonny, I think, was already in a bassinet getting all the treatment. She was the only baby in the place that day, and as it turns out, she was very light. She was, I think, just at the weight where she could go home if she had to. I forget what the poundage was. It was something like, I think you had to be something like 6 pounds, and she was something like 5 pounds, something like 8 or 9 ounces, and she had to stay just a little bit longer so she could. I think she had to get to about 6 pounds before she could leave the hospital, because they were afraid she was almost to the point of being a preemie, although just for weight alone. And it was pretty cool. So we back and forth for 2 or 3 days, and Molly was doing the breastfeeding, and Sonny was gaining weight rather nicely, and bingo, in about 2, maybe 3 days at the tops, she was off to the house. And I got to say, it was a real eye-opener to have a baby in the house. Oh, man. And it's funny, you realize, oh, my God, we got a kid. We got to watch the kid. Oh, my heavens. And, it was like if Sonny went, either one of us or both of us would be up in the middle of the night running down the hallway to her room. And, Sonny was just, probably, heaven knows what, just maybe he was dreaming and made a little bit of a noise, but oh my God. No, it was pretty cool. I got to say, it was pretty darn cool to have her in our life. It was certainly a life changer. That's a fact. And as it all worked out, I think we did well. And of course, my son Burgess, same thing. I'm proud of both of them. They're good kids. Burgess came along about 3 or 4 years later. About 3 or 4 years later, and it was something to raise kids. I do highly recommend it. But I will tell the dads, if they invite you in, go. Because honestly, so what if you faint? They'll step around you. They will. It's no big deal. And I think you're gonna be glad you did. Honestly, I think you will. So, in any case, the best I can say is I imagine I'll hear from Sonny sometime tomorrow. She's busy chasing a ghost somewhere. You know, it's funny. There used to be a ghost would hang out in her room when she was a baby. Yes, there was one. Kept a sharp eye on her. I think that ghost may have been a female ghost or a female when she was a human, and may have lived in the building we lived in. And she did keep a watchful eye on Sonny. If there was trouble, usually she'd come see us about it. Yeah, she was like a nursemaid, only a ghost. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you later, friends. God bless. And Sonny, I love you very much. And again, hats off to my ex-wife now, Molly. Though she did an absolutely wonderful job, I think, of raising Sonny, especially. Well, just especially good job. So anyway, I'll see you later. Thank you, and well, God bless.